Hey, this is Voxside, and in this video I will show you how you can edit this template. So here I am inside the project file, and here you can scroll through your timeline to see how everything works. And this is half resolution, by the way, so if you want to preview the full resolution, just set this to full, give it a second to load, and I really recommend working with, so this is the full resolution, so let me choose another frame here. So as you're doing your editing, I recommend going with half or even third resolution, just so it works faster, and then you can preview your work a lot faster and edit a lot easier. So the first thing you will do is go inside your edit folder, which is the first folder right here, and here are all the folders in sequenced order. All right, and the first one is the final folder, which is the one here at the ending. So if I double click this, for example, here you can see that you can change the logo and the text layer, and to change the text layer, all you have to do is double click the layer and then just type your new text. So new text here, and go inside your main render composition, which you can access through your render folder right over here. So double click this to access your main render, and you can see here that it's updated the text. Alright, so to change the logo, you can import a logo here. So double click inside this window, navigate through your to your logo folder, and you can change the logo. So you can see I've imported a logo here, drag and drop it inside the composition and delete the previous one. Select the logo layer that you've imported, and just rescale this by pressing S for scale, and then just simply rescaling this, and then you can manually adjust this using your selection tool. So you can adjust this, and I'm holding shift to drag this vertically, and this will ensure that it's centered. And you can also check out your title safe action zone over here. So if I select this, you can use this frame here to center your elements better. Alright, so this is for the final holder. This is the last thing that will appear. And let's go, for example, in text holder 1. And here I have a text layer, and to change this text you can simply double click this text and type your new text. So new text here, and you can format this text however you want. So let's go back inside our main render and see how this looks. Let's go back. Alright, so here you can see it. So you can use any font you want here. This font is called Code Bold, and it's available on dafont.com. And for example, now I can, let's say, select this here text only, and I can make this larger, and I can also change the settings here for this guy and maybe make this smaller. And you can format this text however you want, and if you go back you can see it updating here, and let's change this to full resolution. Alright, so you can kind of get the idea of how this works. And let's just use another font here. So I'm using Bank Gothic. And you can update with just use any font you want. Essence is another good font that I recommend for this type of scene. Alright, so you can see it here, and let's maybe take a look at another frame. Alright, so that's about it, and all you have to do is basically just go through all of these text holders and just edit the text layer for each and every one of them. Alright, and just as a bonus thing, if you go inside your main render, if you double click this main comp over here and give it a second, you can see here that here are all of the scenes that are making up all of the projects. So for example, if I solo this first scene right over here, and let's set this to quarter resolution. For example, the first 4 scenes are all lasting, are all 5 seconds duration. So for example, if you're using another song, you can rearrange some of these scenes, and for example, I can make them longer, so I can make them last up to 5 seconds, for example. And This requires a bit more advanced After Effects knowledge, but yeah, you can do that. So for example, I can make this last shorter. So this is in case you want to use a different soundtrack and synchronize to that. All right, and of course you can go inside for example, the actual scene, and here are all of the layers that make up this entire scene. And for example, just as an idea, I mean, you can select, for example, let's set this to have resolution. So let's grab a pre-render here. Let's grab this text one sci-fi pre-render. Alright, so if I solo this, you can see which element this is, and if I add a color correction tritone and set this to green, for example, you can see that you can change the color for that individually, right? So this is all layered if you want to change colors for any of the elements. And let's make this a violet, for example. Alright, so you can kind of get an idea and maybe change the color for this guy as well. Maybe you can use a hue saturation. Let's see, color balance HSL, and let's move the hue around. And you can kind of see directly in the preview how this changes. So you can also edit your scenes individually like so, and yeah, you can if you have intermediate After Effects knowledge, you can mess around with this project and get really a lot of variations out of it. So that's about it. Don't forget that you need to use the soundtrack. So the soundtrack isn't included with the project file, and you can purchase it separately. Link will be in the description, in the item description, so make sure to check that out if you want to use the same soundtrack. It's already synced to it, so anything else, if you after you've set up the whole project, you can go to composition, pre-render, and here you can go inside costume AV, click here, and for format, I recommend going for H264, and you can go inside the format options, and let's maybe profile high will be good. Level 5.1 will also be good, and for target bitrate and maximum bitrate, maybe something like 50 and 150 will do fine. This will ensure that the file has all the quality it can get. Press OK, select audio output if you're using a soundtrack, hit OK, hit render, and that's about it. So, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me using the contact form on my VideoHive profile. And with that said, I will see you next time. Take care.